Rick Wilson,
Hello, Molly. How are you?
are you in a laboratory?
I'm in my sister's laboratory, yes.
So, 50,000 troops to the Gulf,
You
ground
know,
troops. What is going on?
if you're not gonna have a ground war, you don't send 50,000 ground troops. It's weird. And you don't have the Pentagon now leaking like a sieve because they know this is going to go wrong. They know this is gonna go sideways, and
Right.
and they don't want young American men and women to die. And yet,
So,
they're doing it.
so everyone I've talked to about this says it's enough troops so that a lot of people are going to die, not enough troops to prevent a lot of people from dying.
I wanna say this about what I've been able to determine from the force posture they're deploying over there so far.
You have a lot of experience with the Gulf.
I have some experience with the Gulf, yes.
Yeah.
The force posture they're sending over there right now are guys who kick in the door. The
Mhm.
Marine Expeditionary Unit, the Ranger Battalions, Delta. They're the guys who kick in the door. 82nd Airborne. These are not people you have there for a long haul, low intensity warfare situation, which is what Iran will quickly turn into.
Right.
You do not put those people in there to stabilize and secure large areas, which is what will have to happen if by what they're asserting and leaking out of the Pentagon is we're sending these guys in to go get the uranium, to go get the
Right.
uranium hexafluoride, to snatch it from the Iranians so they have to start back at zero. And I'm going to say this with a very big grain of salt. To their credit, the administration is not saying, "Oh, we're going to Tehran to overthrow the bad guys and liberate
Right.
Iran." They're not saying that. And I don't think they would do that anyway because they don't really care. But I think this is a very dangerous moment. I think it's a very risky moment. And I think the fact that you continue to have no Pentagon press briefings, there's not been a Pentagon press briefing about the status of this war in 10 days.
Who are you
Right.
gonna brief? Benny
Yeah.
Johnson? I mean,
Yeah.
who's in the
Laura
Pentagon
Laura
press
Laura
pool?
Loomer, the
Right.
kids from the kids from the Free Bacon and the Daily
Yeah.
Caller, get the fuck
Yeah.
out of here. But we don't know. The Pentagon is refusing to talk about any casualties or injuries. We know from CENTCOM that we've had 300 injuries so far. We do not know from the administration. They would not admit yesterday that using Russian targeting information, the Iranians hit an E-3B AWACS type plane at Prince Sultan Air Base. The only reason we know it is because some Air Force enlisted people posted it on a Facebook group.
Right.
This is one of the things about applying military force as the United States is that you have to be honest with the American people of why you're doing it and what's happened. They don't want to talk about why they're doing it. They don't want to talk about what's happening. And so this war will not get more popular. It will not get easier.
And it's not gonna and I think it's important to remember that we never understood, like, at least with W, he would say they would make some kind of case, weapons of mass destruction. Okay, but
Post 9/11, the
try
whole thing.
right, but tried to. You know, this is not that, right? There's been no trying to sell this war. There's been no,
None.
we're
None.
doing this because of that.
And Molly, I
Nothing.
think I think it's important that we go back and revisit that Donald Trump has said in public at least 30 times, the war is won. It is over. They have no ability to attack us. They have no
Right.
missiles. They have no boats. They have no soldiers. They have no nothing. We can't be beaten. We are taking what we want. We're going to ravage the country in whatever way we choose to. He has said that repeatedly. And the minute I do not want this as an American, as a human being, I do not want this. But the minute the body count starts going up,
Right.
every time he said that was one more layer on a very cruel lie to the American people.
Right. There's this fundamental issue, which is he said he was going to end all of these foreign wars. He said he
Sure.
wasn't going to do it anymore. He said, no more foreign wars. Kamala is going to send your sons and daughters to war, and I'm going to end it, and I'm going to make things cheaper. The Straits of Hormuz, which is now Donald Trump is trying to fix the Straits of Hormuz,
Uh-huh.
which
Good luck.
he broke
Good luck.
because by,
Yes.
right?
Pottery barn.
So he broke, right, it's Pottery Barn. He broke it, he's trying to fix it so he doesn't have to buy it.
Right.
It is 20% of oil and gas,
That's right.
and then it's also for a large percentage of fertilizer,
Mhm.
Talk us through sort of what the straits are like and
Well,
how.
right now, the only ships getting through the Straits are ships that are either Chinese flagged. Pakistan has cut a deal to get 20 of their ships through. It
Right.
looks like they're paying a vig of 20 or of $2 million per ship per passage. The problem on for America right now is not that we get our gasoline from the Gulf, but we do get a tremendous amount of our fertilizer and
Mm.
coming out of the Gulf. And the problem is, farmers right now are being hit with much higher prices on ammonia and urea, two of the main
Right.
precursors for all fertilizers, and some that are used directly as fertilizer. And they're being hit domestically by much higher gas prices for diesel. This is
Mm.
a triple whammy on these guys. And no matter how
And
many times,
tariffs.
right? Yeah, right. And no matter how many times the White House says tariffs are great for the economy, who'd they hurt first? Farmers.
Right.
And no matter how many cutesy websites, Only Farms, the White House launches, they have done more harm to American farmers than anything since the Dust Bowl in the 1930s.
And what they're doing right now is doing a bailout to
Right,
farmers.
right. Which will not grow crops, by the way.
No.
Bailouts do not grow crops. They prevent the farmers, perhaps briefly, from being bankrupt. But the price of food is going to continue to rise, as it is right now projected to skyrocket.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the foods that Americans really, really like require an awful lot of fertilizer.
Yeah.
And this summer is going to be, there used to be a joke. My mom used to joke you could fill up the back of a station wagon with $50 worth of groceries. Now you can hold $50 worth of groceries in one bag in one hand.
Yeah.
So
Um, and and the fertilizer, so its planting season is still going, right?
yep,
So
yep.
and so American farms are still, they've got some fertilizer, but they don't have it all done.
Don't have enough.
And then with the coming summer, we have gas prices, and then
Mhm.
already airplane tickets have gotten more and more expensive because airlines see that the fuel is going to get high,
Right.
is more expensive.
Fuel in the diesel family, including the jet fuels, the JP7, JP9 jet fuels, things like that. Those prices are really going through the roof right now. Air transport's going to get much more expensive, much more painful for people. And if you think the TSA lines are miserable right now, the misery of having to pay, $1,000 for a one-way coach fare, riding like in the back of the plane like an animal in a tube, is not going to make Americans happy come summer vacation season. Although I don't know this is gonna be a very merry summer vacation season for most Americans.
No. And there's government shutdown, Homeland Security shutdown when
Right.
it comes to TSA, stuff like that. Of course, ICE has a bazillion dollars, so they don't need to worry about that. There was a shutdown 41 days. The reason that there are these lines is for, I think it's now 44 days. You had members of the TSA not getting paid, not coming to work,
Right.
quitting, going to get jobs where they can make money.
Wouldn't
Um,
you? I mean,
I mean, it's more than a month and but there was a deal, there was a framework of a deal, Donald Trump said no. Then finally, Donald Trump said, "I'm gonna make sure they get paid anyway," which, by the way, is not how any of this works, but if that is true, then why didn't he pay them 44 days ago? And then we saw House Speaker Mike Johnson g basically lose out to the Freedom Caucus, and then the deal blew up.
the Senate ends up passing a deal to fund everything but ICE. It is viewed as a moment where the grown-ups in the Senate all came together, left and right, Republican and Democrat. They
99 to 0,
yeah,
right?
yeah, correct. They got a bill that would have funded the Coast Guard, FEMA, DHS, all the non-ICE functions of DHS, and especially TSA. The Freedom Caucus guys are so dug in on the cult. They're so obsessed with keeping Trump happy that they blew it up. And now Mike Johnson, as many times as the Republicans want to tweet out, "Oh, the Democrats are causing these TSA lines." First off, Molly, nope, nope, no one believes them now. We've heard it from the president himself. We've heard it from Mike Johnson. We've heard it from the Freedom Caucus. It's freedom with a B, dumb.
Mhm.
We've heard it from all of their mouths directly. They're doing this for political reasons. They're
Oh,
doing this to raise the pressure on the Democrats to let ICE run rampant in our streets and
mm,
shoot people in the head. That
right.
ain't how this is gonna work. And to their credit, the Democrats have held the line, and to their credit, they understood that no matter what Trump said, every voter in this country knows that Republicans run the House and the Senate and the presidency and the Supreme Court. They know it. This is where power has a blowback effect on the people who think they can use it relentlessly and without any consequence. And so
And
it's not a great look for these guys.
yeah, and CPAC, you'll remember CPAC is going on right now. It's
Right.
done now, but they moved it to Texas. At CPAC, we had a lot of discussion about Republican on Republican political.
Violence. Yes,
Yeah, I didn't want to say, but yes. And in it, we had the famous CPAC straw poll
indeed.
where, and then they also did. So I want to talk about the straw poll, and then I want to talk about their vote on the war because I think there's a lot there too. But so CPAC is really where the base lives, I think. Is that fair?
Very much so. And CPAC, and look, in the before times, I probably went to CPAC, I don't know,
You probably
20.
spoke at CPAC.
I put on a class there a couple of times, 20, I don't know, 20 times when it
Yikes.
was, but it was before it became the kind of weird MAGA hyper populist Rumspringa for closeted incel MAGA weirdo dudes. It used to be like the peak of Republican hookup culture for
I'm
straight
shocked.
couples.
I'm
I know you're
shocked.
astounded by this news.
Astounded,
Um,
yeah.
so much for family values. What it's become now, the attendance was terrible. You had Steve Bannon up there, doing Steve Bannon. You
Yeah.
had Matt Schlapp talk about, "Do you want to see impeachments?" And they said, "Yes." And he's like, "No, no, no, you didn't get it. You didn't get the joke. You didn't get what you
That
were
was
supposed to do."
amazing. That was
I loved
amazing.
it so much. I could eat that shit up with a spoon.
That was great. But, you did have Todd Blanche you did see some
Oh,
workshopping of crazy shit they wanna do,
yep,
including Todd Blanche saying we should send ICE to polling locations,
yep,
something
yep.
that we had heard, Steve Bannon say earlier in the week. So CPAC often does this, right?
Yeah, CPAC is a sort of beta test for the worst ideas in America. And it gives you a kind of preview of coming horrors.
Yeah.
And in this case, I think Blanche in particular has come to realize something very important. He is the point man inside DOJ for the cover up. Bondi is
Yeah.
the show pony. Okay, but Blanche is the guy leading the cover up. We saw another story this week where congressmen are putting two and two together, and not only has the DOJ and the FBI not only redacted things they shouldn't have redacted, but they've
Right.
removed documents they shouldn't have removed, including documents that Congress is legally empowered to review. So all this chaos, I think Blanche has realized if the Republicans don't win power in the fall, he's going to get impeached. The great thing that every one of these Republicans had in their head going into this administration was this magical phrase, Trump will pardon me. Now think about this, Molly. Corey Lewandowski, Trump doesn't give a shit about Corey Lewandowski. I promise you, every day Corey Lewandowski woke up, he thought, he'll pardon me no matter what I do. I don't think he'll pardon Corey Lewandowski. I don't think he'll pardon Kristi Noem. And I don't think he'll pardon Pam Bondi and Tom Blanche when the heat gets on. And
Yeah.
so these people are now looking at the fact that they are potentially facing actual legal and criminal liability for the stuff they're doing. And if I'm Todd Blanche, the cocky bullshit that he's trying to pull right now, they're going to put us in the polling places, is a symbol and a tell for how fucking frightened he is that he's going to go in before a congressional committee one day soon, and they're going to get him for having perjured himself and engaged in obstruction of justice, and Trump won't pardon him. It's all
Yeah.
downhill from there, baby.
Yeah, I think that's right. I also I wanna talk about the, straw poll. So,
Yes.
there is an interesting anti-war group in MAGA. They
Yeah.
are not anti-war for the reason I am anti-war. So, I am anti-war because I think war is terrible and people get killed. They
Yes.
are
That is
anti-war.
a fact of war.
Right.
Just
They
ask
are
Marquay
anti.
Mullen.
That's
War
right.
is awful.
And it smells
It
bad, more
smells bad.
importantly. But they are anti-war because they're anti-Semitic. Make it make sense.
You and I have talked about this before. There is a rising tide. The younger a Republican or a MAGA voter is right now, the more likely they are to say, well, that Hitler fellow had some good ideas. They do not believe that anti-Semitism is a bad thing. It has become wired into their political culture very deeply. And
Yeah.
the objections to this war in the MAGAverse, with, I would say, Tucker as sort of the alpha, leader of that pack, is straight up anti-Semitism. Well, there are a lot of reasons not to go to war with Iran
Yeah.
on the military, strategic, diplomatic, economic scale that make a ton of sense. To say nothing of the fact that we have leadership in the Pentagon and the White House who do not deserve to put the lives of young Americans up at risk.
Yeah, and also there's no reason. I mean, there are a lot of bad things happening in this world,
Sure.
and right, but the Iranian people do not want us. They don't need us, and the whole fact that we're in there is completely crazy.
I spoke to somebody today who's an academic type, but knows Iranian history very, very, very well. And she said to me, it would have aged out. The generation that's coming up doesn't remember the original Ayatollah or the reason for the revolution
Yeah.
or any of that garbage. And these guys were old. The Ayatollah was 85 or 89 or however old, the hell old he was.
86?
86, something like that. This younger generation that's coming up is more than 60% of the country's population. And they were about to just basically say, why do we do all this weird shit from the 1970s? Let's stop that. Now the regime has said, the great Satan is coming to kill you. And as much as they don't like the regime, they sure as shit don't like schools full of girls getting bombed. And they don't like civilian power stations getting bombed. And they don't like universities getting bombed. And they don't like Trump
Yeah.
as at the peak of it. Because what do they hear? Even the ones who didn't like the regime, what do they hear? Oh, we're looking for somebody in the regime to negotiate with.
Yeah. It's just a complete shit show,
Yeah.
and
Top
we
to
still
bottom.
been unable to articulate, and I think this is the fundamental problem. Donald Trump is unable to articulate why we're in this war, and so if you can't articulate why you're there, you can't articulate what victory would look like.
That's correct, Mama. That's 100% correct. There is nothing in the current strategic case being made for this war that, and I say this as someone who, when it was signed, I was critical of it. I didn't think it went far enough. I was wrong. But the JCPOA would have accomplished in terms of restricting Iran's nuclear capacity.
You mean the Obama
Yes, the Obama
nuclear.
JCPOA. Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes. The JCPOA, if we had been diligent about it and not withdrawn from the deal, how did
right.
Iran get the ability to start buying centrifuges again and to start doing all these things to reconstitute their nuclear program? Because we left the deal.
But who was president then? I can't
That
remember.
would be
Joe Biden?
no, it was another guy. Oh, it was Donald Trump.
Oh, he's Donald Trump.
It was Donald
That's
Trump.
right.
What a shocker.
That
Against,
is
by the
the
way, the advice of his intelligence community and the State Department.
you had to do it because it had Obama's name on it.
Right. Just like Obamacare. Nobody wants that Obamacare subsidy at all, except that it's per capita used more by Republicans than by Democrats.
Rick Wilson, will you come back?
You know I will.